All right, so we're joined for our first guest of the 2025-2026 school year. COVID graduate of Velma Jackson High School, member of the Velma Jackson Hall of Fame, Kenteria Griffin. Thank you so much for joining us today. I've got a room full here with me at Velma Jackson. This is our college and career readiness class. We're recording this for all of our friends at Madison County Schools, Madison Central, Rosa Scott, Germantown, Ridgeland, the Academic Options Center, and our YouTube channel. So thank you for taking some time out of your schedule for us today.
Of course, of course.
All right. Now, obviously, you were a COVID graduate of Velma Jackson. You were one of our best students. So, unfortunately, the pandemic took away the last 9 weeks of your senior year. But just
Yes.
tell us a little bit about your experience at Velma Jackson. You were a cheerleader. You were involved in a lot of things. You were a unbelievable student. So, just tell us about what you did at Velma Jackson and how that led you to make your decisions after high school.
Okay. So, of course, just like Coach Spivey just mentioned, I was a COVID graduate, which took a total turn. Like, you cannot imagine going to school, going on spring break, and not being able to ever come back to school. Like, a lot of our things were changed. We didn't get to experience senior prom or nothing. High school was definitely different for us. So with that being said, of course, I've always been engaged in academics. Like that was just my main goal, not to sit around, be like another picture that people paint us as because we're from such a small rural area. They don't expect us to go out and make a name for ourselves, do great things. But many don't know that my original plans were to go to homes and then go on to nursing school. Once I got accepted in the homes, I started off there. I attended homes for just a year because I graduated actually in December of 21. But because homes only has one big graduation, I wasn't able to march until 2022. So with that being said, I started homes. I did all of my prereqs, and actually had a instructor to tell me once I started at home because I can't say Bethel prepared us for college, but at the same time, I feel still like it was like an upside down situation because I was not ready for what I was going into. So my human A&P instructor told me because I was struggling at first that I would never get into nursing school. Like that was such a downer. He just had this whole like straight face about it. And at the time, it was so many kids enrolled trying to attend college while COVID was going on. We weren't able to accomplish like all of our labs and everything correctly. Like it would be a video screen like how we are right now one day, and then he'll be in the other class the next day. So it was all just a bunch of bullcrap. And nobody knows this, but I'm going to tell you guys. Don't let nobody discourage you from going to a junior college. I must say this, or them taking an intro class for my English comp because of my ACT score. I had overall score, but me and English don't really get along. So I took that and I took a W and withdrew from my A&P class because it gave me such a hard time. I said to say this, it doesn't matter how you start, it's about how you finish.
There
Because
you go.
even though I did all of that, I still ended up graduating early. And nobody is not my family, nobody. I just knew that I had to get the job done. Like it was something that I wanted. So after that, I actually was supposed to attend Belhaven on an academic scholarship, but I applied for nursing school and the surgical tech program. And I got accepted into both, which I was the alternate for the surgical tech program. So I withdrew from Belhaven after I went to the orientation for the surgical tech program and started the program that. So I ended up going back to homes for another year. I secured a job while I was in school, and I started working at UMC in the pediatric department where I did several specialties with I did neurosurgery. I did general surgery. I did plastics.
Wow.
That's my all-time favorite, which we specialize in things like cranioplastics. Plastic surgery for kids are not like breast implants or nothing like that. Although we do those, it's more so of a something that's born with like deviated
Yeah.
symptoms and all of these things. So it's something to deal with. I've did robotic surgeries. I've did a lot. So I stayed there for about 2 years. Then I enrolled back into school. I took a semester off. I started the W that January. I graduated. Once I started the W, it only took me a year to graduate. And it only took me a year because I had so many hours from homes, but I didn't have the actual institution hours for the university. So that was the only reason I had to stay a full year. But my bachelor's is in business administration with a concentration in healthcare management. And with that, I wanted a job with joint commission to go around and grade the hospitals and everything. But of course, once you start getting in, looking at different roles and everything, it still can be something up in the future. But right now, I'm kind of sitting with what I'm doing. And many don't know this, but I also took a real estate class. So I'm kind of well-rounded, very versatile. You know, trying new things. Just like now with my degree that I'm going into, my master's would be business administration, but I will have a concentration in cybersecurity. So my plans are to maybe go back and sign up for the reserve and obtain a job on a military base because I already have like the college hours and credits and everything. So I would definitely say keep your options open, go to a junior college. I don't have not one student loan debt. I went to school for free. Everything was free. Like it's definitely an eye opener for sure.
Yeah, yeah, and all it takes is a 20 on the ACT. Now, I want to talk about that master's program, but before we do, I do want to talk about your current role as a HR assistant because what you're doing there at your home health place you are, you're dealing with a lot of onboarding of employees. Now,
Yes.
obviously, we have a variety of paths and dreams of our students that want to do different things. And I'm always about giving options. So as these kids tell me they want to do this, they want to do that, how important is it to have cover letters, resumes, and interviews down? Because you may have accomplished a lot of things, but if you can't write and you can't speak, you're not going to get the job that you dream of. So, as somebody that's doing that every day, seeing these job applications, seeing why job applications get thrown out, what are some things they need to start working on as they go through high school?
So what I would say to start working on is most importantly their resume. Their resume is going to be like a birth certificate attached to you. It is something that is going to take you a long way. Keep your resume updated, keep it professional. Do not add all of these colors trying to make it look good. You want to be the one that stands out. Like most important, I thought people were extra lying when they used to say that people that overlook your resumes, they just take a glimpse and throw it out. That is the key. That is something that's very important. And I don't know how many of you guys are taking Miss Brown, but pay attention. Miss Brown is like the key to getting that resume started. I can remember my senior year when we had a senior workshop in the gym. Everybody had to go through and recreate their Gmail. This is no lie. Our emails were so childish, kitty. Like
Yeah.
the email that Ms. Brown made me, it still is the email that I use for my professional background and everything. So I would definitely say work on those resumes, get you a cover letter, get everybody that you can to proofread it. I have had my resume revised at least 3 or 4 times since I graduated because I want to keep it up to date with everything changing. New things are coming out, especially with this new AI stuff. You guys need to stay up to date. I must say that. And also, it's a class at homes that I took, and it teaches you proper etiquette skills to obtain an interview, dress for the interview, the questions to answer, how to ask them. When you go into a job interview, take your resume with you. I do not care if you have sent it to them 20 times. Have their resume, make yourself stand out. And they'll even tell you then when you walk in, you come in, you're dressed professionally. You do not go in and sit directly down. You shake their hands, keep your head held high. Wait till they give you the permission to be seated and just stand out, give it your best.
Yeah, and it's simple things like you said, walking in a room and introducing yourself, having
Mhm,
that extra resume prepared, and you know Miss Brown does a great job here with the resume. I have other classes where we spend a lot of time on resume. We have a new AP seminar class here at Velma Jackson, so there is no excuse anymore to not have that ready to roll when you graduate from high school, whether you're planning to go to college or not. Because
mhm.
what you see it every day, people lose jobs and do not get them because they did not have it prepared and they were not prepared in the interview. Simple things like knowing who to ask for when you walk in the room, being able to answer the questions concisely. It's amazing if you really look it up. If you take 10 minutes, all of these questions and interviews are pretty much all the same. You can practice your
Yes,
answers and be very prepared to give a
yes,
great interview.
yes. And like I said, I wish that we had some of the things available to us that the kids do now today because it's several opportunities out here. Y'all are very invested in TikTok and social media, of course. TikTok teaches you how to basically pass a test nowadays. Like you can literally go on TikTok and they will teach you various certifications and everything. You'll just be surprised. Like, no way, we did not have these opportunities. It's like we were like a test and trial era, but now you guys have everything available. Like, take it for granted. I definitely recommend it.
Absolutely. Now, before I get to their questions, I want to talk about this master's program you're about to enter at Belhaven, where you are focusing on business, but you're also focusing on cybersecurity, which is a very interesting combo. So, obviously, you're balancing working a full-time job, being a mother of two, and going to get a master's degree. So,
Yes.
obviously, it can be done. So, just tell us about what made you choose this master's program and how you're going to balance all the other things you have going on in life while getting a master's degree.
Okay. So I would definitely say it's going to be a challenge, but it wouldn't be nothing to me because, of course, you guys, like I stated, I went through the Search Protect program, and at the time, I did already have a 1 year old, but while I was enrolled in the program, I ended up becoming pregnant with my second child. So, can you imagine working 12 hours a day, 40 plus assignments, taking call and everything? Like, I would literally sometimes have 150 hours on my paycheck. But I can't say it's all about prioritizing. Like, I'm not a sit around and lag last minute person. If I see something that's due 2 weeks from now, it'll be here today or tomorrow. And I always have like a set schedule. Like when I was working, when my room or something would come down, I would be doing work at work. So it's a lot. And sometimes you have to take from those weekends. It's a lot of things I've missed out on. I couldn't go because I wanted to get this done, but I sit and look about like now I'm not degrading anyone, but people that's around here telling, oh, you can do that later, this and the third. Me and them are nowhere near on the same level. Like they wanna try to ask me how I do this and do that, but I told them a lot of things that I tried to tell you guys to miss out on or go for. You want to put other things before that, and they just weren't. But as far as me going into the master's program, I'm definitely excited and looking forward to it. Already have a set schedule of when I'm going to graduate. I have things in plan, how to go about my classes. So, yeah, it's gonna be a lot with those kids, but I also have a great support system. So, if I tell them I need to get this and the third done, and there's something dealing with that, then they definitely make the time to get those schedules allotted so that I can obtain everything.
Absolutely. Well, I do have some questions from the students, and all these are great. I like this first one. This is Erin Gaines. She's in ninth grade. And she asked, what type of effects on your mental health were caused by being a COVID graduate?
Um, Time with me being so young, it wasn't much sort of a mental thing to me. I don't know if it's because I hadn't like matured yet, but I can't say it did take like it was kind of like a set in stone moment. Like even with starting college that fall, it wasn't anything traditional. Like we would go to school, walk down one side, come out one side. Every person had to skip over a seat. Some classes were did directly on Zoom. So I can't say it's kind of say depressing, much more
Yeah.
rather than my mental health. Like it wasn't what I actually expected. Like I see people now, and that's why I participate in every graduation ceremony for college because I miss like the most important moment.
That's
Like
that's a
some
great
people don't
point.
even go to college, and high school is their only big point. So it was a lot. We were just in the auditorium with only 3 to 4 of our family members, and that was it. You never got to see your classmates.
Yeah,
So
and
it
that whole
definitely was
deal was
hard.
so strange. Yeah.
Yes.
And just to add, the one thing that we got out of COVID was this program was able to start because I agree it was mentally exhausting. I had a virtual class with students from all over Madison County schools. I had students from Germantown, Rosa Scott, Madison Central, Ridgeland, and Velma Jackson. But it gave birth to this program been able to start and giving people a platform. I like this one. This is London Curry. She's also in ninth grade, and she asked, "What was the most difficult thing you did in high school?"
Wow. Um, like I said, I've always been in the book, so I can only say the most challenging thing would be um I would have to say a couple of my AP classes. Not really because I couldn't juggle it, but some of those things were kind of like unordinary, like at the park. Like by Velma being so small, of course, advanced courses, it would only be like 5 or 6 of us, and we would always be in the same classes. So me and those students, we juggled a couple of tasks with those AP classes. They were kind of everything about those classes were different. Like they were graded on a different regimen and everything. So it was definitely a challenge, but it did set me up for some things in the future that I didn't think would come about. So I take for granted what Velma has given me.
Well, I will say that COVID class, as sad as that you didn't get the graduation, you had so many talented people in that class, and that class made it a point to push each other academically. So and there was
Yes,
about 8 or 9, 10 of y'all that were incredible students, and you guys competed all the time and always made it a point to try to better each other. So it's amazing when you work together like that and you compete with each other, how it really helps everybody. Because we had some incredible scholarships come out of that class, with you
yes.
included. So it really was a great class, and I hate just like anybody we didn't get to see it finish. I like this one. This is Cameron Nettles. He's in 10th grade, one of our football players, and he asked, "What is something you did in high school that you wish you wouldn't have done?"
Something that I did in high school that I wish I wouldn't have done. Several things in high school that I wish I would have done, but I wish I would have had better decision making in high school. Like some of the things I did, of course, we're all going to be kids and go through things, but I just wish maybe I would have thought through the process and chose a different route rather than going the route that I did. So I would definitely say try to be careful about how you make your decisions and be careful about the people you hang around too. So
Awesome.
because
Well,
they definitely can be an influence.
I got time for two more. This is Jeremiah Williamson. He's in ninth grade, also one of our football players. And he
Okay.
asked, "What is the hardest challenge you've had to overcome through everything you've done so far?"
The hardest challenge I had to overcome was, of course, I'm a type 1 diabetic. So I've been
Oh,
thrown like several obstacles while having kids and enduring school. But none of it never stopped me. Like I've been placed in ICU several times because, of course, by me having kids, when my kids get sick and me being the parent, being around them because my immune system is so weak, it would cause me to get sick. So it never stopped me. I just kept going. It just was definitely a challenge with trying to have all of that maintained.
Awesome. Well, I got one more. This is Landria Wilder. She's a senior, one of our volleyball players. Very interested in attending the W, very interested in getting into the health field. But she asked, what was it like in the pediatric rotation you did while you were in the surgical tech program?
Whoa, so that is a great question. I definitely love the peds. I actually got to rotate through geriatrics and everything else and was offered several jobs, but it's just something about those kids when you come in there, you can actually make a difference. Like when the kids come into the OR, of course, they're wide awake before anesthesia and everything. So it's like an interaction moment. Like you get to see them, like you have kids coming in saying, am I going to be better when I wake up? How's this going to change for me? Will you be here when I be there when I wake up?
Oh,
So it's very like life changing. I would definitely say if you want to work with peas, you have to have a different heart. Because not only the way I look at it is we're adults. Like, yes, we have accidents, but we get to go out there and make choose our choices. Kids, they're just born into this innocence, and these are not the. This is not their battle. They don't pick it, so I would definitely
awesome.
say go for peas.
Well, we're almost out of time, and we thank you so much for taking some time
You're
for us.
welcome.
And and I speak for so many people. We are so proud to call you an alum of Velma Jackson.
Thank
But
you.
you were walking these same halls, sitting in these same rooms, dealing with these same teachers, and from the same community, and you become extremely successful. And the best is yet to come for you. You know, you only graduated 6 years ago. So as these kids
Right.
matriculate through high school, going through some of the same past that you dealt with, dealing with some of the same issues you dealt with, what can they do to mentally prepare themselves to be just as successful as someone like you?
I would definitely tell them to pray. Keep God first, most definitely. And if you do that, you definitely get through anything you set your mind to. But I would say, do not pressure yourself. I have a bad problem with trying to put myself in the shoes, but I have to realize that I am only 23 years old. And I literally just graduated 6 years ago. Not to say to put it like off to the side or anything, but just pace yourself. Like, don't just put so much on yourself because I see now it's a lot of mental health going on and it's becoming very rapid and the suicide rates and everything are going up. Do not become that overbearing on yourself to where you feel like you're just doing it for somebody else. Do it for you.
Absolutely, and it's just important to know there's so many resources, so many people here to help. You don't have to deal with that stress alone, and and you're a great example of that. We're just so proud to call you an alum. We thank you so much for joining us. Kenteria Griffin, class of 2020, Velma Jackson High School, member of the Velma Jackson Hall of Fame. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you.
All right, talk to you soon, buddy.
All right.